Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time.
That's Bill Goldberg. Came off as one of the most unlikable people I have ever seen. And we know this guy said some problematic things in recent months, which has made me feel justified in never liking the guy ever. I'll say it again. I never found him captivating. I see why some people did. I didn't. The stuff with Bret and the injury, he does not get it. And I know people think Bret whines about this. He's talking about it because he's asked about it. This is not a guy who just goes around talking about this kind of stuff. I've said this on the show. I've had conversations with Bret Hart. He doesn't bring up Montreal out of nowhere. He doesn't bring up Goldberg out of nowhere. He's talking about it because he asked about it for an interview. And for Bill Goldberg to sit there and shrug his shoulders and say, well, you knew the kick was coming on the career-ending injury he gave Bret Hart, this mule kick. We didn't even look at the guy as he's coming off the ropes, this back kick at Starcade 99. Unfathomable to me.
You should protect yourself. You knew the kick was coming, right? It was in the deal.
Let me ask you guys a question. So you pull up to an intersection, a lighted intersection, right? And you get the green light. And so you're going, and a car comes and T-bones you. And if that guy gets out of the car and he says, well, you knew I could run the red light. Whose fault is it? I mean, you knew the kick was coming? Yeah, but your job is to pull the kick and not kick the guy's effing head off, dude. You knew the kick was coming? That's your defense? It's like, no, your job in that other scenario is you have to stop at the red light. And in Goldberg's case, you need to not connect with the kick. And you don't kick full blast without even looking at the guy. Just reprehensible.
Well, and not to slow your momentum here, Ryan, because you're on a hell of a roll here. It wasn't just the kick. He dropped Bret on his head on the ring at the ring post when Bret was doing the figure four. You know, yeah. It was like, I think it was the kick and one other thing. It was just this cascade of errors from Goldberg that basically ended Bret's career. Not basically, ended Bret's career.
I got one other thing I got to say on this. It just popped in my mind. I'm going to keep going here. I saw some people on social media defending Goldberg. And like, come on, Bret, you went on to work a hardcore match with Terry Funk after this happened and you're blaming Goldberg? He had a freaking head injury. Read his book. He couldn't even remember what was happening, like what he did the day before, or where he was, because he had a series of concussions. It started there, and then WCW's medical staff they kept pushing him out there to work. They didn't realize what was happening. To say that, oh, but Bret, you continued to work because he had a head injury. He didn't know what he was doing until finally the constant headaches and flashes that he was having, they finally realized what was going on. And they said, you have suffered a series of concussions in just a couple of weeks. Jesus, man. I don't know, man. All right. Somebody else.
Yeah, when he had his match with Scott Hall before the Hogan, or it was same card, Georgia Dome, and they pointed out those handful of things that went wrong, and Goldberg's like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. He admitted it to Scott Hall.
Yes, yeah.
There you go, right there. Just
no
shows
shit.
You how green, and I did call him Greenberg back then for a long time, so it was justified. Ryan's gone over plenty.
Yeah, he worked Terry Funk in a hardcore match on Thunder on January 4th, 2000. So that was, when was Starcade? I don't even remember it. It was December 19th. Yeah, it's like 2 weeks later. Yeah, read the book. It's this book right here. It's behind me on the shelf. The Bret Hart biography talks all about it. Educate yourselves, people. It's not a defense of Goldberg to say that Bret Hart kept wrestling. He had a head injury. Jesus. But yeah, the Goldberg thing where he's like, well, you knew the kick was coming, is just mind-boggling. I mean, if you're in the wrestling business, I don't know how you have any respect for that.
We were at least 7 to to 10 years away to having any idea of what concussions actually do to people.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So scary stuff. He also apparently has not learned anything.